It kind of literally pushed me to some degree of like, you need to like aspire to be a bit better than pro shop manager. And so I managed to get the club operations role.
Sam Hughes is an accomplished PGA professional and general manager of 59 Club Australia and New Zealand, bringing over 16 years of experience in the golf and hospitality industry.
It measures everything that you would think you could experience as a golfer for the day.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is in Dubai.
Known for his deep operational expertise and passion for elevating customer experience.
Benchmarking data, across the venues we work at, but let other venues benchmark themselves against everyone else.
Sam Hughes, welcome to Teabaggers, mate. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, guys. Pleasure being here.
Awesome, mate. Couple of things to introduce you to the people at home. We've got listeners all around the world. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the 59 Club.
Awesome, mate. Thank you. A bit about myself. I'm a PGA professional. I was fortunate enough to do my traineeship at Glenelg in 2007 onwards. So I guess predating all that, I'm a country kid at heart. I grew up in Lameroo. When I was fortunate enough to go to boarding school as well in Westminster for a couple of years, and then I got to join Glenelg because it was the closest club to a degree from Westminster. So typical junior, hanging around the pro shop a lot of the times. Got to about 18 odd years old, and I was working at the Tap In. I don't know if you guys remember the driving range.
That had the driving range before simulators were a thing.
Yeah.
It was a bar with the nets and things like that.
Yeah.
I do remember it.
I was one of the young lads working behind the counter in the golf range there and making people blow in the bag to make sure they're under .05.
Is that what they did?
Yeah.
Imagine the simulator bars doing that now.
They go out of business.
Probably why it's no longer around.
That's it. So I started off there, and then I guess through playing a lot of golf at Glenelg, I walked in the pro shop one day. I'm certain, I don't remember exactly what happened, but I'm certain I would have lost a chipping comp to one of my mates, Adrian Wickstein. We used to do Wiki. You boys know them, and like all the other guys that were down there at that time. And so I walk in the pro shop, and the pro goes, "You want a job?" I think the trainee before me had just quit, and I was literally the next guy that walked in there, and I was like, I don't think I batted an eyelid. Said, "Yeah, I'd love one."
Yep.
And that was late 2006, and so I did my time there and graduated 2010, and went to work in the pro shop. Went to work in the admin office upstairs. So I did a bit of membership stuff and just assisting the GM and the general boring things of the club. And always in my time worked in the bar and most areas of the golf club, to be honest. And then I probably finished there in like 2011 and went off to the House of Golf. Yep. And so, back then it was probably the dark side for a PGA.
So House of Golf is like a, how would you explain it for people overseas? It's the Dick's Sporting Goods or the
Dick's Sporting Goods.
Golf Galaxy in Australia.
Yeah, off-course retail.
Yep.
Back then, the online presence wasn't anywhere near as strong as it is today. So, one of the members at Glenelg bought the Mile End franchise and opened it up there. So went there for about 5 years and had another good opportunity to come back to Glenelg and manage the pro shop there.
Yep. And
it was just a nice opportunity to kind of keep developing, the skill set you learn in off-course retail. I would recommend any PGA guy have a go at going through your traineeship and then going out to that, because the amount of club fitting you do and I guess you get used to talking to customers and you will probably get into this later on. It's like, you walk into a shop and it's, "Hey, go, mate, can I give you a hand?" And I know what your response is going to be.
Yep.
No, thanks, just browsing.
Yep.
And so you sort of learn real quick to get past that and
some sales
techniques. And bring that back to Glenelg, and technology obviously boomed, and so you're able to do TrackMan fitting. TrackMan's become like amazing, especially for club pros. You can sit there and do a House of Golf-esque or Drummond-esque club fit at your own venue. It can compensate for 70% range balls like we have down at Glenelg. So
cool.
It was a great time there. In the last couple of years, Shane, the head professional at Glenelg, you guys know Robbo well. He kind of literally pushed me to some degree of like, you need to like aspire to be a bit better than pro shop manager. And so I managed to get the club operations role at Glenelg. So I spent a couple of years working in up there, and through a bit of study with the GMA, I was aspirationally wanting to be a general manager of a golf club. This is coming out of COVID now, but golf's been booming, right?
Yep.
And I was looking for ways to kind of, I guess, do better by the members of Glenelg. I guess as far as my journey was concerned, I think originally at KPI was 30-ish members a year.
Yep.
And if you go through that period coming out of COVID and SA was booming along, I want to say with women tri-golfers and juniors all up, it was probably close to 180, maybe even 200 members across that time. And I did survey the first 60 that joined, because my role was to give them a good membership induction, give them the pack, show them around the club, introduce them to people, make sure they played their first game of golf.
Yep.
I surveyed the first 60, got a great result, I thought. Presented it to the committee and really got too busy, to be honest, to do the next 100 odd that come through.
Yep.
And so I guess, through that period, I was looking for some technology to automate it. I'd love to be able to induct a new member, survey them day 7 and be like, hey, guys, welcome to Glenelg. You're a new corporate member, like you guys were down there.
Yep.
Have you got your membership pack? Have you done a tour of the club? Do you know how to book online? Maybe 5 questions.
Yep.
And then so that goes out automatically because I've added you in. Day 30 maybe, how's your first month been? Are you interested in lessons? Do you know where to book? Do you know the pro shop might have a price matching policy? So if you want to get fit, just the little journey things. And 59 Club were advertising for a role in Australia at the time. And I quite like the logo.
Yep.
It was one black gold lettering, 59 Club. Like people, you wonder what 59 Club is when you're not in it, right? And so I click on the logo, read through it, had the survey software I was looking for, and they were advertising for a general manager role. So, I was like, well, this makes sense if I want it, and I'm only an operations manager. Like, surely everyone around the country could benefit from working with 59 Club. So
yeah, awesome. We'll touch into 59 Club a little bit later. So pretty much from straight out of school, golf's pretty much all you know in terms of your working career. Up until
pretty much,
started with 59 Club?
I had a stint. I worked up at Moomba for a year.
Yep.
So fly in, fly out. Moomba's like oil and gas.
Yep.
But I was working in an earth moving company. So we were the guys that built the roads to the middle of nowhere, built the rig pads where the oil rigs would eventually be built on those platforms.
Yep.
So it was 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off in the hottest place in Australia.
I'm going to say something a little bit different to golf. So... am I right in saying when you started at Glenelg there wasn't much of a waiting list?
No.
Yeah, and now we're rolling something I did hear the other day of nearly close to 10 years.
Yeah.
So is that the foundation that you would have set there? I know you haven't been there a little while now, but the foundation that you would have set in terms of the way that the members signed up, the way they progressed through the club. Do you feel that some of the foundation that you set there all those years ago, what's benefited them now, or?
I'd like to think so, to a degree, right? I go down. My stepdaughter's into junior golf. She's doing the Sunday morning clinic, so I'm helping out a little bit from time to time with that. And every time I go down there, you're still talking to all those members I signed up.
Yeah,
and or I've known since what are we into now, like 18 years.
Yep,
or 17 years or whatever it has been. So. It's a good family down at Glenelg. Like if you think about all the employees that work there, you guys know a lot of them.
Yep.
Everyone remembers everyone. Everyone knows what everyone does for work, and it's a real good community.
Yep.
And I think that really started, early 2010. I think it started with a strong junior program, and it's just really progressed on. And yeah, it's just you guys have been there. It's just a nice place to be. All the members, if you're not a member and you walk in there, you actually feel welcome.
Yeah, that is true.
No one's looking at you like you don't belong here.
Yeah.
And for a private, tier 1 club, that's a pretty nice thing to experience.
Yep. Yeah, that was definitely our experience playing a lot of the courses around the place. Glenelg was quite the friendly vibe,
welcoming.
And welcoming. Question we get asked a lot because you're heavily in the industry. Do you play much, and what's your handicap?
Yeah, geez. This year, to be honest, is probably I'm probably up to about 15 or 16 games this year. And for 6 months in, that's pretty good for me.
Over. That's good.
My last 6 or 7 years, I would have averaged that in a year.
Yep.
To be honest. So typically the longer you're in golf, everyone could say this, the less you play.
Yep.
There's some diehard pros out there that absolutely love it still.
Yep.
But you grow up, get a family and whatnot. So my handicap is still, I think, plus 0.5. And I can still get around it. I personally would love 4.
Yep.
I feel like I can shoot that 76 number okay, and then you have a great day, it's 2 or 3 under.
Yep.
Yeah.
But just so you just lose that fine touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
No, good.
So tell everyone, what is 59 Club? Explain the roots of it. How did you get involved? And then we can get into the more particulars of what
Absolutely.
you do.
So Simon Wordsworth, our founder, was the head pro at the Belfry. It's going back to in the late 90s he was there.
Yep.
And he went through a period of time from late 90s to mid 2000s, oversaw, I think, 5 European Tour events and maybe 2 Ryder Cup events, possibly a third one.
Yep.
And just through in his time there, he really wanted to understand the customer journey as best as possible. Now the Belfry is a massive place.
Where's that?
So top middle of UK near Manchester,
All right.
up that way. So it's 2.5 hours north of London.
Yep.
300 rooms on site, 3 golf courses.
Right. So fairly big operation.
Largely pay and play. So people go there for corporate days, stay the night, or they go there. They've got spas on site. That's the home of the PGA as well.
Yep.
In the UK.
Yep.
And so lots of pay and play basically. And I guess when you think about a venue that has lots of pay and play, and it's probably considered fairly top end up there, you get a lot of healthy feedback.
Yep.
Good, bad, or otherwise. And Simon really wanted to understand, why does someone give us a 1-star review as for staying at the Belfry potentially? And like, just because a steak was overcooked, does that really make it a 1-star review?
Yep.
Or just because like your check-in wasn't as good as possible, is that really 1 star? And so if you take Google reviews for what they are, they're just, it's a personal opinion.
Yep.
And so he wanted to create a product that was basically mapping out what is the best journey possible like for a golfer. And so it really started off with what we call the golf visitor experience. So just measuring a group of guys playing golf at a venue, potentially for the first time. And so it sort of started off with a recorded phone call into a venue. What does booking confirmation look like? Then arrival.
Yep.
And then a little bit of F&B, and maybe that was it. And I guess if we fast forwarded to today, we measure about 250 things in that one product now in golf visitor experience.
Yep.
And it measures everything that you would think you could experience as a golfer for the day.
Right.
So that's one of the products that we do. But in the golf space, we probably measure 12 or 13 different ones.
Yep.
So if you think about any revenue stream a golf club has, we would measure that as far as a customer journey is concerned.
Yep. When did that start, and when was he doing that? When was
so started 2008.
Yep.
And through some goodwill, it was at the Belfry and Forest of Arden, which is just down the road from the Belfry.
Cool.
So Simon had those 2 venues on first, and then cruised through the first. I've got my timelines right now. There's some overseas venues started in Dubai, probably 2013, 2014.
Yep.
And so the UK team had grown to about 5 or 6 people at that point, with maybe 100 odd venues in total. And, some of the UK general managers really liked the product and that had some measured improvement. So you think about measuring a golf club for the first time, what is considered good? And so some of the scores might look a little bit poor, but then you build some good process in there, which is what we provide our training based around.
Yep.
And then their scores start cruising up, and then some managers started using that as their resume. I demonstrated, this is what we started with at my venue. I can do this now. And so when Dubai's golf started taking off, they had to get general managers from somewhere.
UK's their Bali, basically.
That's correct. And you go to today, and in 2025, we work with almost every golf club in Dubai.
Yeah, right.
There's only a few that we don't work with.
Great achievement.
Yeah. So Mark Ball, the general manager, my equivalent over there,
Yep.
Has been out there now for 8 or 9 years and just doing an amazing job.
Yep.
And golf's not even the biggest part of the business out there anymore.
Yeah, right.
Because golf's limited to largely Dubai.
Yep.
And Abu Dhabi down the road. And so our product really does go out a lot wider into the hotel space, into the leisure space.
Yep.
Florists even.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. This is in Dubai. Right?
Yeah.
He's had like 13 florists going at one point.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
that's cool.
It's all service based.
Yeah, that's right. It's all a part of it. So you're the general manager for Australia and New Zealand.
Yeah.
59 Club, they operate worldwide.
We do operate worldwide. I think just as of today, we just rolled over 1,000 venues, I want to say, in the last week.
Yep.
So we're in most continents around the world now. So operating in Africa, the UK, Nordic areas, Europe, Middle East, Asia. It'll be soon into Japan and Korea at some point in the next 12 months, I think, and America and Canada as well. So
outstanding.
Yeah, it's really good. But 13 franchises worldwide in total.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So the mystery shopping side of the 59 Club, is that where it started, or is that the core initial testing? Or explain to us, obviously people have heard of mystery shoppers probably before. What does a mystery shopper look like at the 59 Club? What would they do?
Well, mystery shopping is our core product, to be honest. We want to provide benchmarking data, across the venues we work at, but let other venues benchmark themselves against everyone else. So if you think about, we might work with TPC Group, so there's 12 venues in the TPC network we work at, with Sawgrass at our very top end.
Yep.
Yas in Dubai, New South Wales Golf Club over in Sydney and the Lakes. They might they want to get their scores and then compare themselves to like-minded venues. And so they're looking at probably measuring everything that we do.
Yep.
But conversely, we'd work with someone like Moore Park or Manipi up in Brisbane, the public venue up there, and we use the same mystery shopper product.
Right.
So our mystery shop is the same worldwide. Doesn't matter if we go to Yas or the Belfry, Glen Eagles, wherever else you could possibly think of.
Yep.
We do the same one. And our mystery shoppers look like regular golfers. They're not paid employees of 59 Club, so there's no bias in it.
Yep.
We can't have people who are members of their own club mystery shop their own club.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't get a member of Glenelg to mystery shop Glenelg because there's a natural bias to anyone who's a member somewhere. And so there might be fireys, shift workers, fly in, fly out people, uni students, new retirees.
Yep.
And the mystery shop looks like exactly like if we were to go for a game of golf next week.
Yep.
We might call up Mount Osmond Golf Club and can I get a tee time for 4 people up there? Pro shop will, the phone call rings. Our platform will record the call in the background and we'll use that for staff training. We measure it. A lot of the times we'll get a, pro shop Zach speaking, just as an example.
Yep.
Yep, you boys, can we get a tee time 10 o'clock next Sunday? Yep, no worries, mate. What time? 10:30. Okay, no worries. I'll grab a mobile number, maybe.
Yep.
And they might quote the green fee, they might not, and then the phone hangs up.
Mm-hmm.
And so generally speaking, that's what our mystery shop looks like the first time. And then you guys as a mystery shopper would then head out there, arrive there maybe an hour and a bit early, and we're going to ask a mystery shopper to just evaluate the venue using our criteria in our app.
Yep.
So they might wander around, take a few photos of the car park. Is it clean and tidy? Do you know how to get from the car park to the pro shop? And then when you get into the pro shop, do they ask, have you been here before? Do you know where to go? Like, is there any engaging question? Versus like we all walk up to the counter sometimes. It's like, what time you playing, mate? 12:30. Yep. Dale, that's the one. First tee's over there.
Yep.
And it's, it's 180.
That's quite a common experience from our experience of playing a wide range of golf clubs all around the world. It is quite common that is the entry into any sort of experience.
Yeah. It's it is that. And it's just transactional at times, and it's not saying it's a bad thing.
Yep.
I did probably 120 odd mystery shops last year, and we were about the same the year before that. Worldwide, we did circa 4,000 across all of our franchise.
Yeah,
so 4,000 rounds of golf.
Yep.
And this is for Australia in particular. To my knowledge, I haven't had a bad one where I've had to ring the manager up and go, "Hey, look, we just had a report come in. It's pretty average."
Yep.
As bad as it looks, it's a transaction.
Yeah.
It's the best way I can write it. It's people that get into this habit of being busy, and we might come in at 1 o'clock when it's not busy, but we get served like it is busy.
Yeah.
Right. And it just takes, you have to step back and be able to look at like, hey, this is the experience. And then you give a report to a manager and so I'll sit down with the team, right, and do some staff training around their reports, which I think is the nicest part of working with us.
Yep.
I'm not a consultant per se where, these guys down the road are doing it. You should do it too. We'll sit there and go, look, hey, this is 3 or 4 mystery shops now. I'm going to come in and do training. It's nice that I've done all the things I've done.
Yep.
And so I've sat in the pro shop before on a rainy day when there's nothing to do.
Yep.
I've sat in a pro shop on a Wednesday morning when it's pumping and it's just hard to like keep up and the phone's ringing.
Yep.
And so I've got that relative experience. We sit down and go, hey, do you think this is a fair example of what you guys could offer? And, most of them will sit there and be like, oh, no, we could do better than that.
Yep.
And so what are the systems and processes they can put in place to do better? And 9 times out of 10, it's like, don't know, because people who are trained in pro shops sort of trained by osmosis, they learn from the casual they're working with.
Yep.
Because the manager's too busy to actually spend one-on-one time, and pro shops run too lean to staff them up. And so that you get that good employee covering the new casual and building out process. Like, this is how you answer the phone. This is how you do a check-in.
Yep.
And so I'll come in and do that training, and we start using venue data and getting it from a transaction to how good was that?
Yep.
And it takes a minute, right, to do a 4-ball really well.
Yep.
Would you say that's probably your common experience in terms of bad experiences? Is it's just transactional? Like you obviously haven't had to call a manager, so you haven't had a horrific experience, but it's more just like there's just no personality to this. There's no connection.
Personality. There's no, I think it's hard, and I'll put my pro shop hat on here, having worked in golf for ages. When you think about working in a pro shop, and I'd say I've got 16, 17 years of golf experience now. You guys have been into pro shops where guys have 20 or 30 years experience.
Yeah.
You lose track of the actual value that's walking through that door.
Yep.
And I'm quite fortunate that if I were to call up a venue, largely I get free golf. And I know that most people that work in golf, if you're a pro PGA guy, you could ring up most venues around Australia and you get looked after really well.
Yep.
I'll either know the general manager or the head pro. In either case, it's free green fees. If I needed hire clubs because I can't travel, I get those as well. You might even get lunch bought for you.
Yep.
And so if you work in golf for long enough and you work at nice venues, we start having this disconnect from, the experience is amazing, but I'm not paying $1,600 for a group of 4.
Yeah.
Whereas like you guys definitely do. And so imagine walking to a pro shop for 30 years of that potentially, and at the cheapest venue, a group of 4 is going to spend $600 if the food and beverage is good.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it is easy to lose track of that value that's walking through your door, I think, just based on we get it so good in golf.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's probably what got us to you coming on the podcast. We did an episode, it was probably maybe in the top first 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest frustrations from, we consider ourselves not from golf. Like originally.
So if we ring up, we don't get free green fees. we pay to play. We don't lean on it anyway.
But our experience from golf was quite different. Everyone, we didn't grow up. We sort of just come as a sort of late 30-year-olds playing golf. And what we found, whether you were a lot in Australia, but even sometimes overseas, sometimes that feeling you got from golf, the people on the other side of the pro shop table was, very, very similar, and it was completely transactional, whether you were a new member or whether you were a green fee player or whether you'd been a member at the 20 years. Sometimes it's just that blunt look, what are you doing? There's the tee block. Well, sometimes you don't even know where the tee block is.
Walk out and have no idea.
So we did this video around why is all of this, and it did blow up, and we're still getting comments today around that, and people, golf courses all around the world have sort of hit us up and talked to us about it. But that's the sort of thing that you're trying to change in the industry. Is it something that's just been bred from years and years of old grumpy pro shop guys now training them down, or is it just a lack of training that a lot of these courses have done? Or
I'd probably say maybe a lack of training.
Yeah.
If I had to put it down to anything at all.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily lots of old grumpy pro shop guys. I mean, every state probably has their few kicking around the place, and it just happens for the reasons I've listed now. Like golf, I remember starting at Glenelg in 2008, and on a Friday, and like to this day, the general manager Robbie there won't believe me. I would serve the last player around 11:30 in the morning.
Oh, really?
I have 35 in the comp, and the only people I saw after that were hitting balls.
Yeah.
We go down. If we went down to Glenelg this Friday, we wouldn't get a game till 2:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it is booked from 7 till then. And so maybe there's a generation of golfers that have come through that are used to it being sort of quiet. Now it's just absolutely pumping. And golf is great right now. Like most clubs are doing pretty well. And has golf changed with the times enough? Probably not in a lot of cases. Not to say that it can't. Bit of training and you build out some new process. We get a new generation of young guys coming through or girls, and we get them offering some decent people skills. And then 10 years later, golf's still going great because of the customer service aspect. So
yeah, absolutely. What are some things that you find with your mystery shopping that really blow you away? And I guess just to touch on how you've been in the industry so long, you may sort of exist in a bit of a bubble, I guess, PGA pros because of the treatment.
Yeah.
But what's something where you thought, this is actually exceptional. This is really well done.
A venue I work with up in Queensland, I was a mystery shopper, right? Because sometimes I'll do it for the first one.
Yep.
And because if I'm going to go there and do staff training, I think it's invaluable that if I was the person who did it.
Yep.
And 99% of the time, as in I don't think this has happened yet, no one knows that I'm the mystery shopper. And could I do that in Adelaide? No.
Yeah.
Most people know me. But interstate, most people don't.
Yep.
So I rocked up to a venue one day early for the mystery shop. And it was just through the booking confirmation wasn't there. It was I'd called up about 6 weeks earlier, and I remember being out on a golf course at the time to book it in. And I thought I booked it in for a Saturday, and I thought I booked it in for a Sunday, sorry, and it was a Saturday. Other way around. I'll get that right. I'll get this right, and we'll just edit it out.
Yeah.
I booked it in for I thought I booked it for a Saturday.
Yep.
Booking confirmation come through as Sunday. Now the confirmation never got to me, and so I'm up in Queensland. My fiance's with me. We're staying in a nice place, and get a shuttle down to the golf course, and I rock up 7:30, 8 o'clock tea time.
Yep.
And I rock up at 7 because I'm doing the mystery shop, so I'm an hour early, and walk up to the bag drop guys, and just check in for Christy. Mystery shopper last name Sam Christie. not Sam Hughes, right?
Any pro shop guy waiting for that name.
Yeah, no one's Googling me, LinkedIn stalk or whatever. And the guy's like, "No, mate, you're not down." I'm like, "Oh, you sure? Like, it's got to be, there's a few people about the place. It might have been, is it 8:30 or something? I might have got the time wrong." So look through the entire morning field, nothing's there. And so the guys call into the pro shop on their radios and nothing's there. "Oh, there's a booking tomorrow under your name." I'm like, "Oh," and I've got to go up to Noosa tomorrow to do training up there.
Yeah.
And so that's just not going to work. And within about 5 minutes, I would say, they had my tea time changed from the day prior to a Saturday, and they'd made a space for me on the 10th tee on one of the nines. And my fiance was wearing Lululemon leggings. She's new to golf and largely acceptable most places you go, and was just kindly told that, "Look, we do need to change your pants, so she can't be wearing those on the golf course." And by the time she got to the pro shop, which is about 2 or 3 minutes later, one of the guys already had a couple of size options for her ready to go. And it is the quickest she has ever bought clothing. And so I look at the experience, you look at that, right, and how bad that could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And so booking confirmation got let down there at some point.
Yep.
It just never lobbed. And if you're booking stuff 6 weeks out, stuff can change. And so we had this awkward experience that was really well. We come in after golf. The guy that sold us the pair of pants has a funny joke about, "How's the golf out there? Do you need a matching top?" And what does my missus do? She buys a matching top, right? Of course. And so I spend a little bit more money in the pro shop as well.
Yeah.
And it becomes a funny story because obviously I had to go do training at that venue a few months later.
Yeah.
And, I use that during the training, and that's best case scenario, that there. And so that blew me away.
Yeah.
It's just so cool.
I could only imagine that generally you'd probably just get told, "See you tomorrow."
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I would assume anyway.
I would
So
assume that too.
to know that they did that,
Yeah, it's
exceptional.
too hard. Sorry.
Yeah.
We are full, even though they're not.
Yeah.
They just move one row. Yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
Obviously you got the different levels of golf clubs. You got your public course, which tucked in shirts and dress attires doesn't really matter. Then you got the top end prestige clubs that everything matters. Is there saying do you see sometimes the top prestige, the most expensive clubs getting things so wrong compared to some public courses? Do you see that at all? Is there anything that are prestige clubs you've just gone, how the hell are they people paying so much money for this service?
I personally haven't had that experience doing what I'm doing, but I've heard it a lot, just over the years.
Yeah.
You work in golf, you hear stories. Glenelg's one of the busier places for visitors to come into state.
Yep.
And we were often the fourth venue that people would play at.
Yeah.
And so, they might have played another venue and they heard something or experienced something themselves and they didn't get a Glenelg. But it just always comes down to, if you're paying $350 for a green fee at a top club, and I know that some of the ones in Melbourne now have 4 digits. So they're up into the 1,100 category for an international guest.
Yep.
And you walk in and it's a flat check-in. You'd want to be batting it out of your crease for $1,100
Yeah.
for someone to get perceived value for money.
Yep.
So I think it's a lot harder for those guys to do what I would consider a great job, because our experience is generally tethered to green fee price. If you pay $50 and you have a great experience, you are walking out of there going, "Holy moly, that's the best play. That's one of the best days I've had."
Yep.
Because the drinks cart person was on fire and chatty and how's your round going and making sure you never ran out.
Yep.
The person in the pro shop surprised you with do you guys want to go grab a bacon egg roll next door? And it always comes down to just some process missing. And so I guess our goal of working with any given golf club is what does the ideal journey look like for a visitor from phone call in or email booking confirmation to arrival, locker room check, range check, pre-golf F&B.
Yep.
You go out and play around a golf, come back in. We'll kick the tires on a retail inquiry.
Yep.
Just to see if the guys behind the counter know anything about their product, and hopefully don't ask a closed question.
Yep.
Don't give you a hand. So just like the F&B, if you have a bad day on the golf course, right, the F&B is the part that can really save a journey to a degree.
Definitely.
And so you come in after your round, and perfect world is like you get the guys saying, "Hey, how's your round out there, guys? I noticed you're from Adelaide because your golf link number says Mount Osmond Golf Club. I know that's an SA venue because your booking sheet's got information on it, right?"
Yep.
I was awesome out there. Had a really good day. The course is a bit average. I didn't know they'd called the greens, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it wasn't a discount or anything.
Yep.
Oh, it's a bit rough, isn't it? Can I get you guys a drink? We've got some SA beer on tap. We've got Pirate Life, or we've got some nice SA wine for Barossa Valley maybe. And you walk away from a venue potentially, and the last thing you remember is often the last person you spoke to. And it's mostly the F&B, to be honest. Yeah. And so that I think, the ability for F&B to get some buy-in to the golfer's journey, I think is very important and often missed.
Yep.
I think a lot of F&B staff around the country kind of just think I'm just there to serve the member.
Yeah.
The members are easy to serve because they play the same time every day. They play with the same people. They order the same thing. You can just guess.
Yep.
You can just walk up there and put another pint down, and they're gonna take it. So for them to be able to go out of their way, I think, and anticipate a visitor coming and ask them how their day was, and if it's average, they can save it.
Yeah.
And then you guys walk away and go, actually, geez, that person, that Jimmy in the bar, what a fella.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing though.
You
say, you walk away thinking that was a good golf course, because to the average punter, we don't separate bar to pro shop to starter to us. It's all the course. So if we walk away from a course because the bartender was great, you just think, what a great course, what a great experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played like several courses where you'd consider them fairly top end, and you wouldn't even get a conversation in a day.
Yeah.
And it's just that transactional thing, right? It's, just, hey, mate, what time are you playing? It's 12:30. Up, no worries. First tee's over there. Pay here.
Yep.
You go up to the bar. What can I get you? And you walk away from a venue, and like, if anything wasn't quite right for the day, there's no chance to save it, right? And so, like, we're all human beings. We can't be perfect.
Yep.
And so, I guess that's what we want to. We want to put several processes in place to be able to, make sure it's the best day out.
Yeah, cool. One of the things, we've travelled to America a lot. Obviously, America is very service based. The tipping and things like that make it very different to Australia. Do you find much? I'm assuming, is there a leaderboard in the back office of 59 Club that says the worldwide rankings of who's the best club or anything like that? But is there something different between what the American clubs offer in terms of a service based thing to what Australian clubs do, or you don't see much of a discrepancy?
There's probably not a huge discrepancy, to be honest. I think the American club's personality shines.
Yep.
Right. They have this, like, I can't do the accent well, so I won't try and pretend I know what I'm doing. But you walk in there and they know you're Aussies.
Yep.
And they have this like big personality, and you straight away you're happier than when you got out the car.
Yep.
Right. And you might get a good bag drop person. It's a little bit the same. And if you look at our back of house leaderboard, there's some American venues in there, but there's a lot more Dubai and UK venues that are at the top.
Yep.
But they've got potentially years of process being built out, and the personality kind of goes with it.
Yep.
And so I think America are amazing at personality, and their process is fairly strong because of the tipping culture.
Yep.
But sometimes, there's still that no direction in a pro shop's offered. Yeah, the personality, the friendly welcome, and you're like, oh, this is awesome. And you walk out of there and you're looking through it, like, what would an ideal check-in look like? Still missing several things. And where's the driving range at? Would you like range balls?
Yep.
You're going to run into Jessica out the drinks cart out there, so you don't need to grab something now. And so, and again, we're looking for that best day out. How many times have we all gone playing golf and you get out there and you guys, I love a drink, and the halfway hut's closed.
Yeah.
And the course doesn't come back, you're out. It doesn't loop back through 9, it goes out for the day.
Yep.
And so that stuff does happen.
Yeah, cool. Can you tell us the top courses, or is it a private list that you don't share?
Well, I can tell you that our best golf visitor experience last year was Links Hope Island. We do awards every year with 59 clubs, so we like to recognise venues.
Is that a golf gods club?
Links Hope Island.
Links Hope Island.
They need to be if they're not.
Links Golf and Wellbeing.
Yeah.
Service, our best one for the year. So
yep.
The year prior to that was New South Wales Golf Club. Now, they were closed for a good chunk of last year to redo all their greens. So I'd imagine every year with new venues coming on, that title is going to change quite a bit. So, and our best sort of public venue was Manipi.
Okay, that is a golf gods club.
Yeah. Mitch and the team up there did an amazing job.
Yep.
So,
yeah, awesome.
Perfect. What's something across the board that you think all clubs like get wrong? Like, was there a blanket thing that you could say everyone needs to do this better?
Yeah, I think it could start with booking confirmation, to be honest.
Yep.
Is there anything in terms of the AI space that can make that easier? Because I know that sometimes even just some of the clubs that we've been on, like getting access to the app and all this sort of stuff is just a bit of a for new people. Did we book? Did we get carts? Where do we add carts?
Yeah.
All those sort of things with the booking.
The online booking journey, I think, could definitely go up a notch.
Yeah.
You think about anything that you book online currently, whether it's going out for dinner or booking movies, booking plane tickets, it's a pretty robust platform.
Yep.
And I think golf's been the same for the last 10 or 12 years, and it hasn't really moved with the times.
They do
yet.
look like old websites.
Are they all
don't
using
they?
the same platform, or is
90% of them, I think, use My Club,
Yep.
and the other 10% might use MSL or Empower, I think is the other one out there. So
Yep.
some are transitioning across to Lightspeed, which is exists in America. It's pretty popular over there, but mostly My Club.
Yep.
So booking confirmation. I had a venue in Perth 12 months ago. I want to say they sold 15% more coffee in 12 months without any more golfers playing because they put in their booking confirmation that barista made
Can
coffees
add a
available from 7.
Easy.
Yeah.
You know,
Upsell.
That's
yeah,
great.
but just
Yeah.
letting people know, like the amount of times I've personally bought coffee on the way to a golf club or McDonald's even because can I get a coffee? I'd love one.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than getting to somewhere where you think a cafe, oh no, we don't open till 9.
Yeah.
And it's like push button coffee. And I'm like, oh man, I would have stopped somewhere.
Yeah.
So just to let people know, I think that's just a real easy one. And you automate it once.
Yeah.
Just build out booking confirmation, do a good job once.
Yep.
Good to go.
Well, it makes the barista's job easier too because they know, a day out that they've got 4 coffees to have ready.
You should
by
be
7
able, honestly,
a.m.
you should be able to order range balls, coffee. You should be able to get a 6-pack of beer even.
Yep.
Maybe subject to some, submitting your driver's license for an age check or something.
In saying this, is there an opportunity? I'm just the ideas man coming out here.
I've already thought. Don't
Is
say
there is there an opportunity for someone to come in, a tech company to come in and just build the best golf booking system that's it sounds I haven't used it. I've from an outside I've just booked, but is there an opportunity there? Or?
God, there's going to be some people that hate me saying this comment. The work for places I would do a bit of work with, but 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one company has 90% share of it, but I say but because golf clubs are tricky places to make software for.
Yeah.
The amount of membership, the rules behind it in the background, like when you start building booking sheets, they're difficult things to navigate. So that a 5-day member can't access a timesheet in a weekend.
Yeah.
You're only selling certain tee times on a Sunday maybe.
Yep.
It's tricky. And a lot of managers I speak to would say there's got to be some space to build the best system ever. And then it's got to be able to link to your membership CRM as well.
Yep.
Or maybe it's easier for a public venue that doesn't have membership because you could just kind of build it, right? And it just takes bookings only. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I've always found strange with Australian golf, and I can understand where it's come from, but I don't understand like why they could persist with it, is there's the golf club. They own certain parts of it. There's the pro shop owned by someone else. Sometimes food and beverage can be run by someone else, and there's multiple businesses and private entities within the bigger golf club. Now, in America, it's generally privately owned. Some big wig owns it. They own the hospitality. They own the apartments on the outside, and it's sort of he's a CEO basically. Is there something around that makes your job hard because the guy in the pro shop blames someone else and got this, or you don't really have too many issues with the different entities in clubs?
I think it can make it tricky if you don't hire the right person, or if the times move faster than that person in that role moves.
Yep.
It's very hard for a golf club to change a club pro that's contracted because they have a contract.
Yep.
3-year contract, and it's how do you prove that they're doing a bad job? Can't really. It's all hearsay. If someone says they're doing poor service, it's just someone's opinion. And so it can make it tricky, but conversely, it can be amazing because a contracted pro will work a lot more hours than someone who is on a director of golf role that only has to do 40, maybe 45 if they're working a lot.
Sense.
Okay.
They could do a 60 or 70 hour week if it's their own business.
Yep.
And so if they get it right, it can be good. I find that, again, through working with the venues that I work at, there are some clubs that are contracted F&B. There are some clubs that are contracted F&B, contracted pro shop.
Yep.
And using our stuff, it's really does tie it together pretty well. Some GMs are a little bit hesitant. They're like, oh, my pro's contracted out. I'm a bit worried about, measuring them. and seeing how they go. But if the pro does our stuff well, they will make more money.
Yeah.
Because every visitor that comes in will probably spend more. The drinks out of the fridge, a little bit of merchandise maybe, and everyone knows if you get good customer service, you're more inclined to buy something.
Yep.
And so, if you get the good part of it right, it really does bring the team together.
Yeah, the culture.
Yeah,
and that happens in business, and everyone's striving for that. And I can understand how, a good pro shop experience makes it easier for food and beverage. And then if they do want to eventually sign up as members, it helps the membership guy. And
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because the visitor doesn't know, nor do they care, to be honest, if the pro shop's contracted or if the F&B is contracted.
No.
And that's our experience at course, especially learning golf and getting into it was, they run that or they run that. And we're like, isn't this the same place? I've just driven through one gate here. Yeah. I haven't driven through 8 gates. Isn't it all the same place?
You might go to a golf club one day and you walk into the F&B, like you walk into the cafe as the first port of call because the clubhouse is kind of built that way.
Yep.
And it's not obvious where to get to the pro shop. And you go, oh, whereabouts is the first tee? And they're like, I don't know.
We did that at we weren't playing there. We were doing a podcast, and and I can see how that would happen. We walked in, and we're in the front bar. We're like, "Where's the pro shop?" And they're like, "Oh, over there." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
What? Trying to remember the club now.
Up in Brisbane, was it?
Yeah, it was up in Brisbane.
St. Lucia.
Oh, St. Lucia.
Okay.
They were good about it.
Great club. It was
club.
just us.
We went the wrong way
because
because we just rocked up and walked in the wrong door. But
they'll go, well, it's the pro's job to do that. Potentially. They need to know where the first tee is. But again, the visitor, it's like the first interaction with your golf club can be the bar staff.
Yeah.
Right. And then, it's a good opportunity because the general manager is going to have no idea whether his bar staff know that or not because it's kind of the F&B manager's role.
Yeah.
But they're too busy actually operating in the business to be out the front training. And so it all kind of loops back into this failure of process being built to a degree.
Yep.
And then just learning from the current casual that's on who also doesn't know where the first tee is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it flows in.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to give any feedback that was that they didn't like, or have you had any pushback on your feedback?
I like that question. I like it a lot, only because I get some pushback in training a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when I'm doing training and you're going through a result, and it's generally only one person in the group will be like, "Oh, I don't really feel like this is fair," potentially, and it's fair enough. There's 20. There could have been 20 people in the pro shop when this happened. Then you look at the result and. When a mystery shopper walks in and in our criteria, they have to answer arrival questions. So what time did you walk in the pro shop? How many staff are on? How many people are in the pro shop? And so you get the pushback and then you go into let's see what happened. There's no one in the pro shop and you couldn't do 2 little things.
Yeah.
And, when you think about it, out of the whole report, if you're only worried about those 2 little things, there's obviously a lot of other stuff going wrong as well. And so I get to the point where it's you don't have to push back hard on them. You just go, look, don't you think that if everything else is going well, this wouldn't be a problem? And generally speaking, it's like, actually, that is the case. If our booking confirmation was better, they don't need to know as much information when they arrive in our pro shop.
Yeah.
So it is easier.
Yeah. I got a 30% rating for a KFC mystery shopper once, and one of them was
when
I worked at KFC back in the day when I was giving you free food, and one of them was that the car park was dirty. So when I got dragged over the coals, I said, "Well, there's 10 staff here. It's not my fault the bloody car park wasn't clean." So I had a bit of pushback on a bad mystery shopper rating once as well. So
it's almost always process.
Yeah.
In our stuff, if you get the first 2 things off to a transactional start, our scoring does look average.
Yeah.
Not bad, but it just looks transactional.
Yep.
You get those first 2 things right though, and all of a sudden the manager's going, "Mate, that's a pretty good check-in."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, very good. Is there any? You obviously see a lot of clubs across Australia and the group, obviously, in a broader international range. Is there anything that a club's done that just stands out that you are like, every club needs to be doing this? Is there anything that comes to mind that you can?
Wish I'd known this question earlier. It'll take me a minute or 2 to think about this.
One of the ones that we had an experience going to West Palm Beach National, big Mikey D there. That group owns West Palm National, Barley High, Dobson Ranch, and these all those sort of clubs are made for that young casual golfer, the the new age golfer, I guess. And they've got driving range, they've got basketball rings out there, they've got huge bins with like the booze pong style grid, and just lots of different entertainment side of things. And then as you're playing around, hole 3, hole 4, an old guy rolls in just a normal golf cart, and he's got a bucket full of flavoured rum. And that's their traditional thing where, you know, you have a shot. And he just
Was this
gives
Barley
it-
High, was it?
This was
one was at West Palm Beach.
West Palm
Yeah,
Beach,
yeah,
Palm Beach National. I
Palm
think.
Beach National, yeah.
But that whole group's the thing. It was just, we were blown away because it's hard enough getting a drinks cart out on a golf course in Australia, and we know they're everywhere in America. But this guy just rolls in, starts asking us how our day was, pours us a couple shots, and of course,
And we're like, hang on, how much is all this going to cost? He's like,
it's part of the
free,
thing.
it's
It's
yeah.
birdie juice.
sign us
and
up.
that was just blew us away.
Yeah.
And it's such a simple little thing. Is there anything that you've seen that?
Probably not right at
Yeah.
this very minute, to be
Yeah.
honest. Nothing comes to mind that I've seen. You know, obviously we work with 30-ish venues around Australia at the moment, so I guarantee you there's something out there that exists. I ran into some great F&B experience at the National a couple of Fridays ago, played the old course,
Yep.
and they had this nice little halfway hut tucked in there, and you know, they do some interesting things there. You can get like Melbourne, I want to say it's South Melbourne dumplings, South Melbourne market dumplings.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You know, they're barbecued. Like this is
Yep.
after golf as well.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's a venue that I guess has tied in some like Melbourne culture into the actual experience itself.
Yeah.
And so it's like the F&B person brings out the food, and it's like, you know, this is what everyone gets post golf. And
Yeah.
we're very fortunate to play with a couple of members there for the day, and you know they know what's going on, and they know a bit about myself and 59 Club. So I think we probably had a above average experience in that regard.
Yep.
But I think if a golf club can take that local food and then tie it into like share it with visitors.
Yep.
All your members know about all this stuff. And I think that if they can, feels like what's happening with you guys. You're getting this cultural experience, right, as a non-regular.
Yep.
And I think that if we can get golf clubs in Australia doing this, everyone's going to be loving it.
Yeah.
You know?
One of the things that has stuck out for me, and I don't even know why this thing, member guests in America is the biggest event on the golf calendar for a lot of these clubs in America. And you might say, hey, no, I'm completely wrong. It's not such a thing in Australia where they have these big member guest events and tournaments and bring someone. But is there a reason you see that, or are there plenty of courses that actually do it?
Are you, from that point of view, are you talking about there's a day where you just bring a mate along?
Yeah,
and we're gonna make
it's
it
like
big
a
themed
it's a
event?
two, you know, you might be.
Oh, well, we
two
get a lot of
scramble.
customers saying, hey, I'm buying these polos for the member guests coming up at the
Yeah, and
club.
some of
It's
that,
quite an
for
event.
example, we were at Trump International in West Palm Beach,
Yep.
$500,000 US membership. You can imagine what type of people are there. Now, they were setting up for this member guest the next day, and it was no expenses spared. It was like a full music concert,
Yeah.
bloody Lady Gaga. It was like everything.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it was a Western theme.
Western
and they
theme,
Had
they
a
had-
hay set up, and it was
Yeah.
huge. It was like the biggest event. But I've always thought, why isn't the Australian courses doing it? Wouldn't it be a great way to introduce people to the club and things like that? But yeah, I just thought I'd ask the question while we were talking about it.
Maybe the private clubs that arguably could afford stuff like that are already so busy
Yeah,
and it's another thing to do,
Yeah.
and it's just another event to run.
yep,
There are some some nice private clubs in Sydney that run really nice member events, maybe not to that sort of level where it is just a member guest day and you have two members, two guests.
yep,
And it might be centered around the Masters possibly.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they'll do Masters Monday.
yep.
So they'll do things like that over there. And in Australia, in Glenelg, in Adelaide.
Yeah.
And I'll get my words right eventually. In Adelaide, there are some things that happen like that, but just not on any form of grand scale. And I guess I put it down to clubs being so busy, golf's so good right now. There's almost no need to do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
To do that extra, it's kind of just you get your last year's fixture, you rinse and repeat it.
Yep.
And I think that's what it's been for the last sort of 4 or 5 years coming out of COVID now. It's like golf's killing it. Let's
Yeah.
just keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's not.
Dale mentioned Palm Beach National and the rum cart and also just some of the extra activities they had on course. Have you seen anything, particularly in Australia, that's sort of different to just your traditional driving range and pro shop setups? Is there anything else going on at courses that have stood out to you?
Well, Golf Central up in Brisbane are about to open. I'll say I think in October they're opening a 600-person brewery and distillery
On the course?
on the driving range.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Golf
Oh, yeah.
Golf
So
Central.
have they sold the driving range off to a company like Flaggy did with the retirement village, or? Is it trying
I'm
to
not
get
sure
some
of the
cash?
contract model
Yeah.
up there, but they are. I was up there last week,
Yeah.
and we'll start working with them, I think, at some point in the near future. And they're just building this massive hospitality experience. And to my knowledge, it's the only driving range in Australia that's going to have a distillery and a brewery on site.
That's wicked.
And so they're building out, and they'll start servicing these Top Golf-esque bays. So there's going to be like full drink service, full food service. The customer experience is what they'll be selling.
Yep.
And so you instead of getting 100 balls, you'll book it for an hour, and you'll have there might be one staff member per 5 or 6 bays, and it's drinks. How's it going, guys? Can I help you with this?
Yep.
Here's some food.
Yep.
And so that's going to be cool. That's coming. I think there's some really cool stuff in Sydney, like Swing Factory, and again, this is centering around turning golf into an experience.
Yep.
And I will start seeing that come to golf course land, I would say, in the future.
Yep.
Definitely.
That's wild.
Obviously, we're seeing the growth of the simulator venues. Are you working with any of them? Because I know a few that probably started here, a lot of it was focused around golf and coaching, and guys wanted to get better, but it's more of the entertainment space, I think, has now traditionally taken off in these simulator bars. Are you working with any of them?
Not yet in Australia. No. In the UK we do.
Yeah.
Potentially places in the UK are closed. Golf courses are closed for 4 months a year, right?
Yep.
So the indoor sim market there is huge because it's too cold and it's snowing or whatever. So I think there's definitely some scope in Australia to, again, like those bays are all booked out. So why not make the experience better to increase revenue?
Yep.
We've got an awesome product that we can mystery shop that's built specifically for indoor sim space.
Oh yeah.
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 It's everything that you'd think about for your visitor journey, just like a golf journey.
Yep.
It's booking online. What's your booking confirmation look like when you get there? Do you know what you're doing? Have you been here before?
Yep.
Talk about the F&B on offer maybe. Do you guys need to hire clubs? Like just those little bits and pieces. And then, 20 minutes in, can I get you guys anything to eat or drink? Notice someone's beer's half empty. Can I get you guys another round?
Yep.
In just stuff like that.
Simple stuff.
Simple stuff.
Yeah.
You ever had someone that's been sort of caught or exposed as a mystery shopper during their process?
That's a good one. I think I do. And again, I do this training a lot. So every venue I work at, I do a day staff training, sometimes 2, depending on what they want. And I've had a few staff go like, "Oh, we saw your mystery shopper a few weeks ago." Like, "Oh, it's you didn't." I'm like, "What do you mean we didn't?" Like, definitely, they were taking photos of food. And I'm like, well, everyone takes photos of food. It's been happening since Instagram came out. and if I look at your report, I hope you didn't catch them because it's not 100%.
Yeah.
So no, we haven't had anyone be caught per se.
Yeah.
And if anyone's been caught, it's generally would have been too late.
Yeah.
It's after they've finished their meal. And from our point of view, once your meal's finished at the end, the mystery shop's basically complete at that point. So no one's been caught on check-ins.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
What, am I right in saying 59 Club has a mentorship program as well? Do you guys have a mentorship program?
We have an e-learning platform called My Mentor. So it's more of a resource. So our benchmarking platform where a report will come in, there's lots of different modules staff members can log into and go, hey, how do I nail an arrival experience?
Yep.
And so we've got all of that housed on our Mentor platform. So I think we've got some plans in the future to build out a proper 59 Club academy of sorts, where, if I'm maybe speaking out of school here to what the grand designs of 59 Club are, but in a perfect world, we can do some work with the PGA and, maybe a year 3 trainee or member associate they're called now can have a little bit of 59 Club education embedded into their platform, into their program, right? And then working with other 59 Club venues around the world, we can do a bit of a swap. So when you get halfway through your 3rd year, you can swap with the Belfry. So the Glenelg's trainer could go to the Belfry and the Belfry could come to ours.
Yep.
And just to start building this like nice culture of like people get all this really cool experience around the world. So
I've always said that for our travels across America and going to those golf courses that I know it's not probably logistically possible, but an Australian general manager should go and spend a couple months in America and just see how they're running it, because it is, and we've already discussed why it might be a little bit different, but it is a very different service-based industry over there, and I think that's probably some of the angle that the Australian clubs can really improve on is the service. And we've heard from multiple courses that why is there a drinks cart? Never makes money, that drinks cart. And it's like, well, the member's just paid $5,000-6,000 for his 10th year of being here. Surely there's a service base that can be added to that. So that was just something that I thought. And
I think a great idea, to be honest. Most of the progressive general managers in Australia have some form of association with a General Manager Australia program, so GMA.
Yep.
And there is some study with Country Clubs of America, or CCMA it's called, sorry.
Yep.
And at the end of that, you do go over to America and go to a big conference over there, and so you do networking and whatnot. But to your point, I think it's like anything. Like you guys travel the world,
Yeah.
and you just see some wicked stuff. Imagine being able to bring that back to your pro shop,
Yeah.
and being able to implement just one thing.
Yep.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
All right, Dale, let's get into some quick fire questions.
All right, we've got a few here for you. All right, best golf course with the food and beverage experience you've ever had?
TRI.
TRI, what's that one just before we...
Tara Eadie's public course.
Is that New Zealand?
New Zealand, yeah. So
Yeah.
they've got 36 holes down there.
Yep.
Between $350 and $650 a green fee.
Beautiful.
Yep,
All right,
beautiful.
Put it on our list.
Yep.
Slow play or bad service, what triggers you more?
Bad service.
All right. Would you rather be stuck cleaning golf carts or giving 100 staff performance reviews?
Golf carts.
What's your dream course to mystery shop?
St. Andrews.
What's more painful, a triple bogey or a 3-star 59 club rating?
3-star 59 club rating. That's hard to get one.
Hard to get. Yeah. Beautiful. That's all the quick fire questions we had. Thanks very much for coming on. Very different podcast for us, but I hope some people got some insights. What's the best way to get in touch with you? We've got a number of general managers. I know this is one of their favourite podcasts, so they're probably waiting to hear how they can get in touch with you and get the guys involved.
Head to our website, 59club.com.
Yep.
Just click on the Australia tab when it goes to select region.
Yep.
My details are in there, or add me a follow on LinkedIn and send me a message there. That's a lot of my inbound comes through that.
How do we get it to become a mystery shopper? You got any positions going for that?
I've
too?
got heaps of positions for mystery
You
shoppers.
do?
If
Yeah.
anyone is listening and
Tell
you
us
want to be a
about
mystery
it.
shopper for 59 Club, here is your opportunity.
Definitely. Just again, head to our website, 59club.com. Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne. We're happy to take on some mystery shoppers. If you've got an eye for detail, it's a little bit of work, but the juice is worth the squeeze.
Is it a paid gig or is it just free golf?
It's I try to avoid the word free golf because it sort of feels spammy when I pitch it that way. But we'll reimburse your expenses for you and your playing partners for the day.
Yep.
So that's green fees, cart hire, pre-golf food and beverage, post-golf food and beverage, and range balls as well. So it's basically everything.
Fans, get on board and sign up for that.
Definitely,
That sounds wild.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show, Sam, and all the best with 59 Club.
Thank you. Cheers.
Good on you, mate.
Thanks, mate.